speaking to in making these comments. Now, if Abba Kyari, of course, all of us heard when President Buhari made that delegation and said ministers and all that should be taking whatever, just be meeting him. Now, whether it is right or not the issue for discussion, but at least as it's known that Abba Kyari is no longer within the precincts of Aso because of an ailment occasioned by this COVID-19, he is somewhere else. So what PDP wants to tell Nigerians is that there can be no internal arrangement as replacement for Abba Kyari's position. It is quite unfortunate because I don't think it's a healthy opposition. What I believe as Emmanuel Ndukwe is that as soon as Abba Kyari tested positive and was whisked out of Aso there would have been that person, please, these jobs Abba Kyari was doing, even if on temporary basis, until a substantive person, if Abba Kyari doesn't come back.
Well, what I just think for me is that, or shall I say, the description was split in one through Boss Mustafa and the others through Abba Kyari. I think that with Abba Kyari not in the picture now, indisposed because of health, that everything should be channeled through Boss Mustafa.
No, if it will well meant for Mustafa, wouldn't another person help? Are they only two in Aso?
But is that what will cause a breakdown to governance as the PDP is situated?
You see, I think this is one of the most absurd things I've heard. That is, a governance structure has broken down. Is it the way to run an opposition? Why can't people or a party now think of certain things that will help the nation? As a matter of fact, what I expected from the PDP via his spokesperson is that let this administration make sure that nothing happens to the duties of Abba Kyari. Right. Because everybody will know that even if anybody should die, a country must move on.
Okay, what are your thoughts there? Let me move on now to Izuchukwu Richards.
For me, statement from PDP represents opposition at its finest. It now behoves on the presidency to prove the PDP wrong. Apparently, there seems to be a collapse of the structure of government, and the absence of Abba Kyari seems to have engendered that collapse. If the PDP is wrong, then something should be done to show that now believe that is petty opposition. I see no reason, if we could meet here in the studio, I see no reason why the Federal Executive Council was postponed yesterday. At all, this would have been the most critical time. I think the chambers, is big enough for them to space out, or they could do video conferencing. I see no reason. I see no reason why we have a president that cannot speak. We watch the international news. We see other heads of government, speak. I see no reason why he cannot personally engage his colleagues, from national community to ask for, for collaboration. I see no reason why we hardly hear directly from. Every now and then there are complaints, that everything is spearheaded by this man, Abba Kyari. It is the APC-led government that has mystified the personality of Abba Kyari. And if anything goes wrong with him, I think it will. It seems it will badly affect the government. So far, the vice president is in isolation, the president is in isolation, and we hear nothing. We don't even hear from the ministers. That's at this critical time. No. And I don't even think the civil servants will be paid this week. It just seems that so many things go wrong. If Abba Kyari is not there, if Boss Mustafa is not there, if the other one, his uncle also, can someone help me?
Maman Daura.
Daura is not there. And people keep speculating, and you don't underestimate the ability of the PDP to know what is happening in Aso Rock. So the president should come out clean on who calls the shots in the presidency. This is an ample time for him to come out. We are really losing a lot because of the age of the president. We are losing a lot ability to out and speak for himself. It does seem that whatever he does, he's being hoodwinked by those around him. He does not seem to be in charge. Does not seem to be, personally doing the thinking, making the decisions on his own. So enough of hearing from Gabashewu and Adesina. We want to hear him speak and talk. Know that we have a president, that listens, a president that is in a right frame of mind, that is still in charge. Okay, so that the PDP has said what they have said. I am 100% in support.
Right.
It shows that there is a collapse. Nothing has been happening. We only hear from the NCDC, and they are already complaining that their supplies there is a shortfall. So something should be done. If there is a cabinet, then the ministers should be at liberty to take the realm of to be at the realm of affairs and show leadership at the absence. Then we don't also forget that there have been insinuations, that the vice president is already, preparing to resign, if not for certain forces, and his powers obviously has been whittled down. Okay, so and he doesn't seem to be talking much these days. So at the absence of the president, the next person that should be in charge should be the vice president. How come it is always this the chief of staff? Now he has turned positive, and he couldn't even be taken care of in the Aso Rock Villas
All right,
clinic.
what are your thoughts on that? Let's move on
very
now
unfortunate.
to
The PDP is
Opaka.
right.
Opaka, let's get to hear from you.
And it's really unfortunate. We usually we've been sounding it that look, it's not good to be creating strong men in government, create institutions, and then these things can run. Incidentally, Buhari had to create this strong man and then gave him all the powers. I don't know, in which other country this type of situation, you have this type of situation where the president will now say, for ministers, you go and be reporting, this is the person through whom you're going to, the structure of government, you create them in such a manner that ministers who should have access to you will have to report to somebody else who will take your... See, and now we have a situation, and our president...
Was it reported? Did they had to report? I think that he was the channel through which they can send their memos and all, and if they needed an appointment with him, it was through him. It wasn't that they needed to report to him.
He's a cabinet minister, isn't it?
I think they're two different things.
So that channeling, that's why now he becomes the gatekeeper.
No, like, yes. Yeah,
whatever he wants the president to hear, that's what he will hear. Whatever he does not want, he stops it there. I don't know why that kind of... Does it sound well?
But even if it was supposed to go through the secretary to the government, if the secretary of the government wanted to stop it too, he could still...
That's what I'm
exert
saying
the same
now.
powers. But the truth is that you have to go through somewhere. You can't just enter Aso Rock and then move on straight to see the president.
We're talking about cabinet ministers.
Yes, and
I'm not
saying
talking about anybody.
No, I'm holding. I understand you. But with cabinet ministers too, the president's itinerary is planned. You can't just walk in there today and say, well, I'm here to see the president, and then things are moved for you to see the president. It still needs to be gone. You still have to channel that through somebody, right?
And this is not the first president. I don't know why this has to be this pronounced in this government.
And it's most likely because people who are the gatekeepers are compromising and doing stuff. But I'm thinking that there's no government where there won't be a gatekeeper.
We know that. What I'm wondering is why it has to... You have to spell it out in black and white and then make it like a policy for people. I want Abba Kyari was so powerful. When you say he went to Germany, a report I read said he went to even negotiate this Siemens deal. That's it with the minister. That's Abakari. That. And then came back with coronavirus. And here we are. And I'm wondering whether actually, in fact, two collapse. The most important part of that, this thing that for me that strikes me, is the the lack of visibility of the president. Why are we not seeing the president? Why is he not being the one that will that's like leading the charge? We are seeing others. Trump nearly on a daily basis addresses the nation. It is not as if his health minister is not there. It is not as if the others are not working. But you want to take this charge from the very top. And everybody knows that, this is a situation that we must deploy our highest. We will now maybe excuse it. Oh, there is a city, whatever company they are working. He has set up a presidential panel. They are working. And all. These things are everywhere. And yet, the leaders of the world, I saw Putin yesterday talking. And then here, everything is quiet. Abakari is running the show. And now Abakari is not there. And it doesn't. Every day we just sit down, probably wait for of health to tell us. And then all then if one dead, subtract that one then. But the mobilization, that sense that, our leader is in charge and leading Nigeria needs leadership at this point. And I'm not sure that committee can't give that leadership. No, they can only reel out numbers to us as to what is happening. But we're talking about mobilizing the entire country to face this fight. They can't do it. We need to get the president to be doing that one. Look at the states now. Are the governors not doing it? Lagos State governor. It's not as if his commissioner not capable. He does it, but side by side. He will give his own. But after he does that, the governor himself tells you where we're headed. Here in Rivers State, we have seen the same scenario.
But the president says the person on the presidential, high-powered presidential team is Boss Mustafa. So the leadership is still.
It's Boss Mustafa is an appointee. President is the one we elected.
That's very correct.
So he cannot come and act on behalf of the president. It's not done anywhere.
Okay, it's almost time for the news, and this time I'm eagle-eyed. We'll go and join the news desk. We'll be right back, and then of course we'll hear the position of Alhaji Nasser.
It's Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Port 5.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1. Rivers State has recorded its first case of coronavirus. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, made the disclosure while announcing 5 new cases of the virus in Nigeria. The NCDC, in its Twitter handle, 2 of the cases were discovered in Abuja, 2 in Lagos, and 1 in Rivers State. 3 of the new cases are returning travelers, while 2 are direct contact of confirmed cases. 1 confirmed cases. the former Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, Chris Finebone, has advised Governor Nyesom Wike to take further steps in tackling the spread of COVID-19 in the state. Finebone has received Governor Wike. The State Commissioner for Health is yet to inform the public if Rivers State has what it takes to contain the spread of the virus or not. He expressed concerns that all that have been heard and seen are emergency lockdowns, adding that they are not enough to assuage the fears of residents as observed in Lagos. Finebone maintained that while it will be unfair to politicize the pandemic in the state, the APC will frown at a situation where the government is announcing lockdowns for the purpose of mere political theatricals. Security agents the entrance of the weekly Chobo market in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers. Officers, traders and sellers from gaining entrance to the market. Some police officers at the scene told our correspondent that they were merely enforcing the order of the Rivers State government to avoid overcrowding. Our correspondent reports that at the time of filing this report, the policemen are stationed at strategic points to stop sellers from trading on the roadside. In the meantime, the Rivers State Council for Islamic Affairs has suspended all Friday Jumat service prayer in a bid to curtail the spread of the pandemic. The Rivers State Islamic leader and Vice President General Nasser Owo came out with this emergency meeting with imams for mosques in the state. Nasser Owo said this became necessary following the crowd usually experienced in the worship places. Rivers State Islamic leader also urged imams of the various mosques to sensitize their worshippers on the need to maintain good hygiene always, just as he advised Muslims in the state to remain patient as the situation is temporary. Our correspondent reports that a task force was instituted to monitor the level of compliance of the mosques. On the foreign scene, the King and Queen of Malaysia are under quarantine after seven palace staff members tested positive for COVID-19. Report from the palace said 7 staff were hospitalized and health identified the transmission. King Sultan Shah and wife Tunku Iskandaria were tested for the virus, but both were negative. However, the royal couple decided to observe a 14-day self-quarantine out in the palace. Malaysia has had 21 deaths and the highest 196 has extended its lockdown by another 2 weeks to April 14th. And with that, we wrap up on the news update. Thank you for listening. To have a good morning.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Have you heard that coronavirus has been confirmed in Nigeria?
My panic. Health and Nigeria Center for Disease Control have advised that everyone should do the following to stay safe.
Tell me.
Wash your hands regularly with soap under running water. Use hand sanitizer if there is no water. Cover mouth with bent elbow. Tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose the used tissue and wash your hands immediately. Avoid touching eyes, nose, mouth with unwashed hands. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces such as door locks, tables, and chairs. Avoid close contact with sick persons or anybody coughing or sneezing.
Please, Mary, what are the symptoms of coronavirus?
Any person infected with coronavirus can have fever, cough, difficulty in breathing, and shortness of breath.
Don't panic. Coronavirus is preventable. If you have traveled to any country with reported local or community transmission, stay indoors and away from people for 14 days. If you develop any of the symptoms mentioned above, call the Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC toll-free line 0800-9700-0010. Share information about coronavirus only from verified sources like the Federal Ministry of Health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, and the World Health Organization WHO. This message is from the Nigeria Center for Control NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and partners.
Serving you the latest gist in town. Ready? Drum roll. The heat is on. Nanja Noodles Ultimate Search is here. Are you ready to be the next? Is on. on in search for 28 housemates for the first Ultimate Search winner. Are you ready to play? To participate, log on to www.cookingquest.com
or pay into GT account number 0130765340. Account name Media Corp. Present your bank teller to pick up your forms at Today FM, Today's Drive off East West Road before UPTH, Port Harcourt, River State. For more information, call
0818-389-2850.
Registration form is 2,500 naira only.
And stand a chance to win fantastic prizes. Winner goes home with 1 million naira plus a year ambassador for a brand worth 25 million naira. Second prize goes home with 500,000 naira. Third prize 100,000 naira. Wow! Date is June to August 2020. Auditions will hold at Uyo, Calabar,
Port Harcourt,
Lagos, Edo, Delta, Anambra, Abuja, Kaduna, Katsina, Oyo, and Benue. It's time to cook. Let's eat, play, and win.
Proudly sponsored by Indomie Noodles, official media partner.
Today FM 95.1.
Your attention, please.
This president's failed.
It's about.
We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
solution.
So when you vote me, then you sleep.
Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun is they going to extract money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse if you are. If
you're
say you're
a slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian constitution is philosophical.
You spot the difference now?
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we're talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues raised.
The PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the people. Melody in Uniport says, Madam Jonah is the has and he pleads that investigation